Most people think you have to have a massive following to influence people, but that's not really the case. You don't need a huge reach, you just need respect. But how do you get there? How can you develop and command the kind of respect that can change a person's life? Today we're going to look at a few of the ways that the most effective people in the world gain genuine respect and influence. First thing, there's a specific type of balanced honesty that you see in the most effective people in the world. Take Joe Rogan, for example. Let's look at a clip of him, and I want you to see if you can pick out what he's doing that's working.
Do all of these things, and those are the preconditions for success. You either meet them or you don't. I mean, that's true for everybody.
But for success. But don't you think that a lot of that is predicated on the environment that you develop in, and the people that you're around, and the lives that you imitate, and the influences that you have around you?
So what Joe is doing that's working is he's being graciously honest. He doesn't hold back his disagreement, and he gets pretty passionate about it too, but he stays gracious towards Ben the entire time. Let's break it down and find out why this is such a powerful technique. Most people will go to one end of the spectrum or the other. Either they're way too nice and they just want to be liked so bad that they never disagree with anything, right? Like, oh, you liked Mando season 3? Oh, me too. Or they go to the other end of the spectrum and they just absolutely pull out the flamethrower and obliterate anybody that says anything they don't like. And as a Christian, I have to confess that we are not very good at this a lot of time. Either we're Westboro or Jerry from Parks and Rec, right? There's not a lot of in between. But neither end of that spectrum is really respectable, because on the one hand, if you're super nice and you just give in to everything all the time, you come across as weak because you're showing that you're not strong enough to handle the consequences of disagreeing with somebody. And also, people sense that you're not being honest, because if you're saying that you agree with something that you don't, that's a lie. And people don't respect liars, and they can sense it too, right? Let's say you're on that date with that pretty girl and you're thinking, man, I just want her to like me so bad. Maybe if I just agree with everything she says, then she'll be happy with me. No, she won't, because she can tell that somewhere in there, there's something you're saying that's not true. That is not respectable behavior. It's not the way of Jesus, not the Jesus that I follow, and it just doesn't work. But on the other side of it, if you go the full blue hair on somebody, and I don't mean Goku, right? You're just attacking the person. People don't respect that either, because you're showing that you don't respect them. People won't listen to you if they don't think that you care about them as a person. You also look desperately insecure. You may think that being forceful like that is confidence. It's not, right? It's the opposite, because what that signals to a person when you're working so hard to get them to agree with you, it shows that you're afraid that they might be right, or at least that's how it looks to the people watching. If you're working extra hard to make them say that they agree with you, it looks like you need to hear somebody else say it because you don't believe it enough yourself. So neither end of the spectrum really works. We don't want to be so nice and people-pleasing that we're weak and dishonest. We also don't want to be so forceful that we come across as insecure and disrespectful. But let's go back to this example from Joe. The balancing act that we can draw out of this is say confidently what you believe to be right and give the other person grace to be wrong. What that does is that displays strength. It shows that you're strong enough to handle the consequences of telling the truth. And it shows that you're secure. You have the confidence that you don't need that other person to agree with you. Technique number 2, be calm when other people panic, right? Be the non-anxious presence in the room. I didn't say this was going to be easy. I said this is how you do it, right? You want people to respect you. Okay, this is the road that we have to walk. Think about why our culture has had an obsession with ship captains for ages, whether it's the Star Trek captains or Master and Commander. We love these characters because they always give off this sense that they are bigger than the problem at hand. And think about why that matters for respect. Because if you're freaking out about all the little details and problems of life, it signals to the people around you that those problems are bigger than you, that they have power over you, right? They control you. And why would I respect someone or listen to someone who just lives at the mercy of whatever happens to them? It's like, no, I want to look up to someone who's in command of the situation.
This is the second time he's done this to me. There will not be a third.
The people we respect the most seem to have this way of just letting the problems roll off of them, emotionally at least. But that can be really tough to do if you're a person that is more naturally anxious. There is a way to do it, but how? Well, there's 3 things that you can start with right now that can help. Competence, experience, and faith. So with competence, if you know how to carry yourself, know how to handle yourself, you've got problem-solving skills, decision-making skills, that makes life a lot less scary because you know that you're equipped to handle whatever it throws at you. Competence breeds confidence, and that's the type of stuff that we work on this channel, is trying to help you figure out how you can become effective in the right direction. So if that's something that interests you, hit subscribe, and we'll keep putting out more of these videos, and we'll work on this stuff together. The other thing that can help is experience. Everyone's been through storms, you've been through stuff. You can look back on those experiences and go, hey, I came through that okay. It wasn't as scary as I thought it was gonna be. I can make it through whatever comes in next. And third, you've got faith. And this is super important because there are a lot of times in life where, yeah, the problem actually is bigger than you. Right? The water does go above your head. But even though we might not be bigger than all the problems we face, we know a guy who is. And this is where people who follow Jesus have a bit of an advantage, right? Because we don't ever have to fake it. We know he's the one who teaches us and gives us knowledge and wisdom and discernment, and he equips us with everything we need to handle the problems that come our way in life. And when those problems are bigger than us, we know that he's above all of it, and he's promised to sustain us through it and be with us in the midst of it and see us through to the other side of it. And that can give you confidence to be that secure, non-anxious presence in the midst of a storm. And the third technique, help people make their life suck less. Think about this. What do Jordan Peterson, Theo Vaughn, and MrBeast all have in common? In their own weird way, they're all trying to help people. MrBeast is constantly giving away money and eye surgeries and baby seals or whatever, and people respect most people. Well, there's some people always who get upset about it because what he's doing makes them feel guilty about all the stuff that they're not doing. But most people respect that. Even Theo Vaughn, right? He may be an absolutely feral human being.
He was missing part of his leg, I think. Or he said he was, so he could have been faking it.
CGI or something?
I don't know what his name was.
But every once in a while, you can see that facade, the character drop for a second, and you can tell he's actually doing what he's doing because he just wants to make people's day a little bit brighter.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because I know how hard it is to take care of ourselves.
And Jordan Peterson, agree with him or disagree with him, he's trying his best to help take people whose lives are garbage and turn them into something that isn't terrible. So for you, if you've got the gift of humor, then make people laugh, right? Brighten their day. If you've got the gift of hospitality, make them feel welcome. If you've got discernment or understanding and knowledge about stuff of life, help people out, give them perspective, help them sort things out a little bit. And this goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning. People need to see that you actually care about them. From a psychology standpoint, we actually have to trust a person first before we'll respect them or listen to them. On the other side, you've got these guys like Jake Paul, who they only care about how many eyeballs they've got on them at any given time, right? They put on these huge spectacles to try to soak up as much attention as they can. I'm fairly certain that history will forget those guys pretty quickly because they're doing nothing for anybody except themselves. If you want people to actually have respect for you and make a mark on the world that actually matters towards your highest purposes, right? Philippians 2:4. Don't just look out for your own business, look out for the business of other people. So to recap it, 3 things. By the way, there's more of these. If you want to gain more respect, there's more stuff we could talk about. So if you'd like to hear more of this type of thing, let me know down in the comments and we could turn this into a series. So the 3 things are gracious honesty, right? Instead of being weak and dishonest or disrespectful and insecure, say what you believe to be right and give people the space to be wrong. Second thing, be the non-anxious presence in the room, right? Be that person that is the calm in the eye of the storm that people can look to for, okay, what do we need to do to get through this? Third thing, just make people's lives suck a little bit less than it did the day before. One thing that can amplify this effect exponentially is having a solid foundation of masculine confidence. And if you want some ideas on how you can cultivate that even more for yourself, check out this video right here. That's all I got this time. Stay weird. Peace.